Welcome back to La Coins World, Washington Quarter, $1967 coins, $1.9 million dollar. Have you ever wondered if a single quarter sitting in your pocket could be worth far more than just 25 cents? Every day, millions of people spend coins without giving them a second glance. But hidden among ordinary pocket change are coins with incredible stories, fascinating history, and sometimes astonishing value. One of those coins is the 1967 Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another everyday coin, but collectors know that this particular year holds a unique place in American numismatic history. It was produced during a time when the United States Mint was facing a nationwide coin shortage, leading to major changes in the way coins were made and distributed. Because of these unusual circumstances, the 1967 Washington quarter has become one of the most interesting modern quarters to collect. Could one sitting in your collection be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Stay with me until the very end because you might never look at your spare change the same way again. Welcome back to Hardest Penny, the channel where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary stories. 1967 Washington quarter. The 1967 Washington quarter is one of the most recognizable coins in $1.9 million dollar coins history. But what makes it truly special is the period in which it was produced. The reverse features a majestic bald eagle standing proudly with its wings spread wide. The eagle rests above a bundle of arrows, symbolizing military strength, while olive branches below represent peace. Around the edge are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. This classic reverse remained in use until the state quarters program began in 1999, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. One of the most fascinating facts about the 1967 Washington quarter is that it does not have a mint mark. Normally, quarters struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco Mint carried identifying mint marks. However, from 1965 through 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from all circulating coins. Officials believe collectors were encouraging coin hoarding by searching for specific mint marks, so eliminating them was an attempt to keep coins moving through the economy. As a result, every genuine 1967 Washington quarter was struck without any mint mark, regardless of where it was produced. Another major change had already taken place just 2 years earlier. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made from 90% silver. Rising silver prices forced the government to introduce a new copper-nickel clad composition. The 1967 quarter is made with outer layers of copper and nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. If you examine the edge closely, you'll notice the distinctive copper-colored stripe in the center, which reveals the copper core beneath the nickel layers. The United States Mint produced an enormous number of 1,967 quarters to combat the nationwide coin shortage. More than 1.5 billion quarters were struck during the year, making it one of the highest mintage Washington quarters ever produced. Because of this massive production, circulated examples remain extremely common today and are generally worth only their face value. However, experienced collectors understand that rarity is not determined by mintage alone. Condition plays an equally important role. A heavily worn quarter that has spent decades in circulation may have little collector value, but a coin that survived in nearly perfect condition is a completely different story. Collectors use the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges. The finest certified examples of the 1967 Washington quarter have reached grades of MS-68. These coins display exceptional brilliance, nearly flawless surfaces, and outstanding eye appeal. Because so few coins survive in such remarkable condition, collectors compete aggressively whenever one appears at auction. Some top-graded examples have sold for several $1,000s. Proving that even a coin with an enormous mintage can become highly valuable when preserved perfectly. Another exciting reason collectors search for the 1967 quarter is the possibility of mint errors. Although the mint maintained strict quality control, mistakes occasionally escaped into circulation. These error coins are unique because no two are exactly alike, making them especially attractive to collectors. One popular error is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not properly aligned between the dies during striking. As a result, part of the design is missing while the remaining image appears shifted. Coins with dramatic off-center strikes that still display the full date are often worth substantial premiums. Double strikes are another fascinating error. These occur when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, producing overlapping images. Depending on how dramatic the second strike appears, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors also search for clipped planchets. During production, blank coin discs are punched from long strips of metal. Occasionally, a mistake causes one blank to overlap another, leaving part of the coin missing before it is struck. Genuine clipped planchet errors are relatively scarce and highly collectible. Die cracks are another interesting variety. After striking millions of coins, minting dies begin to wear and sometimes develop cracks. When a cracked die strikes a coin, the crack appears as a raised line across the coin surface. Larger die breaks can produce unusual raised areas that collectors actively seek. Die chips may also appear on some 1967 quarters. Small pieces of the die break away over time, creating raised blobs of metal on the finished coin. While many die chips are minor, larger examples often attract significant collector interest. Another characteristic collectors appreciate is original mint luster. Freshly struck coins display a beautiful cartwheel effect that rotates across the surface when viewed under light. This luster gradually disappears through circulation and handling. Strong original luster is one of the key factors that separates ordinary mint state coins from exceptional ones. If you believe you have a high-quality 1967 Washington quarter, proper care is essential. Never clean the coin, even if it appears dirty or tarnished. Cleaning permanently damages the original surface by creating microscopic scratches that reduce collector value. Professional collectors and grading companies strongly prefer coins with completely original surfaces, even if they show natural toning developed over decades. Many collectors enjoy searching bank rolls for 1967 quarters because they remain surprisingly common in circulation. Although finding a valuable high-grade example is difficult, the excitement comes from never knowing what might appear in the next roll. Every search carries the possibility of discovering a rare error or an exceptionally preserved coin that escaped notice for decades. The year 1967 itself was an important period in American history. The country was experiencing major cultural, political, and technological changes. Every 1967 Washington quarter served as a small piece of daily life, passing through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and businesses across the nation. Each coin carries a silent connection to that remarkable era. The absence of mint marks also makes the 1967 quarter stand out within the Washington quarter series. New collectors are often surprised to learn that no genuine circulating quarter from 1967 should have a mint mark. If you ever encounter one claiming to be a regular circulation strike with a mint mark, it deserves careful examination because it may have been altered after leaving the mint. Although millions of these quarters still exist today, truly exceptional examples remain surprisingly scarce. Time, circulation, and everyday use have damaged the vast majority of surviving coins. This is why collectors continue searching for coins with outstanding preservation, original luster, and minimal contact marks. The 1967 Washington quarter reminds us that every coin has a story beyond its face value. It represents a turning point in American coinage, the transition away from silver, the effort to solve a national coin shortage, and one of the few years when mint marks disappeared completely from circulating coins. These historical factors make it much more than just another quarter. So before you spend your next 1967 Washington quarter, take a closer look. Examine the surfaces carefully, check for unusual errors, admire the original design, and remember the fascinating history behind this remarkable coin. While most examples remain worth only 25 cents, A perfectly preserved specimen or a genuine mint error could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The next valuable discovery could already be sitting in a forgotten coin jar, an old collection, or even in your pocket right now. That is the excitement of coin collecting. And here on Hardest Penny, every coin has the potential to become an unforgettable treasure waiting to be discovered. Have you ever picked up a quarter from your pocket, looked at the date for just a second, and then spent it without another thought? What if that ordinary-looking coin was hiding a story that most people have never heard? Across the United States, millions of Washington quarters pass through people's hands every single day. Yet only a small number of collectors know that certain dates, conditions, and minting errors can make these common coins surprisingly valuable. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating history behind one of those overlooked coins, the 1981 P. Washington quarter. At first glance, it seems like nothing more than 25 cents, but once you understand its background, its place in American coinage, and the rare varieties collectors search for, you'll never look at this coin the same way again. Could a 1981 P quarter sitting in an old coin jar or hidden inside your spare change actually be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Stay with me until the very end, because the answer depends on details that many people never notice. Welcome back to Hardest Penny, the channel where every coin has a history. Every detail matters, and ordinary pocket change can become an extraordinary treasure. 1981 P. Washington quarter. The 1981 P. Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a period when the classic Washington quarter design had already been circulating for nearly half a century. Although millions of these coins entered circulation, collectors continue to search for exceptional examples because high-quality pieces are much more difficult to find than many people realize. While this coin is often overlooked compared to older silver quarters, it holds an important place in the Washington Quarter series and remains a favorite among modern coin collectors. The front of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this iconic image first appeared in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Above the portrait is the word Liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left. The date, 1981, is displayed below the portrait, and just beside the date is the small P mint mark, showing that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turning the coin over reveals the famous reverse design, featuring a majestic bald eagle with its wings fully extended. The eagle stands proudly above a bundle of arrows, representing the nation's strength and preparedness, while olive branches beneath symbolize peace. Around the edge appear the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. This classic reverse design remained in use until the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Like other modern Washington quarters, the 1981 P is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers consist of copper and nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Although the coin appears silver in color, a close look at the edge reveals the reddish copper stripe running through the center. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge with fine grooves that help distinguish it from other denominations. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 600 million quarters in 1981. Because of this large mintage, circulated examples remain common today and are usually worth only their face value. Most have spent decades passing from one person to another, collecting scratches, wear, and small dents along the way. However, experienced collectors know that mintage alone does not determine value. Condition is often far more important. The highest graded 1981 P. Washington quarters are remarkably rare. Coins certified at the top levels display exceptional brilliance, nearly flawless surfaces, and outstanding eye appeal. Because so few survive in such pristine condition, collectors are often willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars whenever one appears at auction. These impressive prices demonstrate that even a modern quarter can become highly valuable if preserved perfectly. Mint errors provide another exciting reason to examine every 1981 P quarter carefully. Despite advanced quality control systems, mistakes occasionally occurred during the minting process, creating unusual coins that are highly sought after today. One of the best-known errors is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not properly aligned between the dies before being struck. The resulting coin shows part of the design missing while the remaining image appears shifted toward one side. If the date remains visible, these dramatic errors often attract strong collector interest. Another fascinating error is the double strike. A coin may accidentally receive more than one strike from the dies, producing overlapping images or distorted designs. Depending on the severity of the error, these coins can sell for significant premiums. Collectors also search for clipped planchets. During production, blank coin discs are punched from long strips of metal. Occasionally, the punching process overlaps, creating a blank with a curved section missing before it is struck. Genuine clipped planchet errors are relatively scarce and can be worth many times face value. Die cracks are another collectible variety. Minting dies endure tremendous pressure while producing millions of coins. Over time, small cracks may develop. When a cracked die strikes a coin, raised lines appear across the finished surface. Larger die breaks create even more dramatic features that many collectors enjoy adding to their collections. Die chips may also appear on some 1981 P quarters. Small pieces of the die can break away after prolonged use, producing raised metal blobs on the coin. Although many die chips are small, larger examples often become popular among variety collectors. Another feature that collectors carefully examine is the original mint luster. Freshly struck quarters display a beautiful cartwheel effect as light moves across the surface. This natural brilliance gradually fades through circulation and handling. Coins with strong, undisturbed luster are much more desirable because they preserve the appearance intended when the coin left the mint. The year 1981 itself was an interesting period in American history. The country was experiencing economic challenges, technological progress, and political change. Throughout that year, millions of these quarters passed through grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, vending machines, and businesses across the nation. Each surviving coin represents a small piece of everyday American life during that era. Collectors often appreciate the 1981 P quarter because it marks the early years of Philadelphia's return to using mint marks on circulating coins. This small P serves as a reminder of an important change in the history of the United States Mint and helps distinguish these quarters from earlier Philadelphia issues. Although the 1981 P Washington quarter is common in circulated condition, truly exceptional examples remain surprisingly elusive. Most coins experienced years of heavy use, leaving only a limited number with flawless surfaces and brilliant original luster. This combination of availability and condition rarity makes the coin an enjoyable challenge for both beginner and advanced collectors. The 1981 P Washington quarter proves that value in coin collecting is not determined solely by age. Many people assume only old silver coins are worth collecting, but modern coins in outstanding condition or with genuine mint errors can become equally exciting discoveries. Patience, careful observation, and knowledge often reward collectors who pay attention to details others overlook. Have you ever looked at the loose change in your pocket and wondered if one ordinary-looking quarter could actually be hiding an incredible story? Most people spend a quarter without thinking twice, but collectors know that some coins carry history, mystery, and sometimes surprising value. Today, we're taking a close look at one coin that millions of Americans have seen, but very few have truly studied: the 1996 D Washington quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another 25-cent coin, but behind its simple design lies decades of American history, a fascinating minting process, and a collector's market that continues to search for the finest examples. Could a 1996 D Washington quarter in your collection be worth far more than its face value? Stay with me until the end, because the answer might surprise you. Welcome back to Hardest Penny, where every coin has a story worth discovering. 1996 D Washington quarter. The 1996 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States had not yet introduced the famous 50-state quarters program. This means the coin belongs to the classic Washington quarter series, a design that had already been part of American pocket change for more than 6 decades. While millions of these coins were produced, collectors still appreciate them because they represent the final years before one of the biggest changes in American coin history. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This design was created by sculptor John Flanagan and first appeared on the quarter in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Around the portrait, you'll find the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1996. Just to the right of the date is the small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. The reverse of the coin displays a powerful image of an eagle with its wings spread wide. The eagle stands proudly above a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness, while olive branches beneath represent peace. One reason the 1996 D quarter is so common is its enormous mintage. The Denver Mint produced more than 906 million quarters that year. With such a large number entering circulation, finding a worn example is incredibly easy. Most are still worth only their face value of 25 cents because supply greatly exceeds demand. However, experienced collectors know that condition is everything. A heavily worn quarter may only buy a small item at a vending machine, but a coin that has never entered circulation can be much more desirable. Coins graded mint state, especially those with brilliant luster, sharp details, and very few marks, often sell for several dollars. While that may not sound like a fortune, it is still many times higher than the coin's face value. As collectors search for the finest surviving examples, grading becomes increasingly important. Professional grading companies carefully inspect each coin under magnification, assigning a numerical grade on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS-65 or MS-66 is considered high quality, but examples graded MS-67 or higher become significantly more difficult to find because even tiny scratches or contact marks can lower the grade. The rarest examples are those receiving grades of MS-68. These coins display exceptional luster, nearly flawless surfaces, and outstanding eye appeal. Because so few survive in this condition, collectors are often willing to pay hundreds of dollars for a certified example. Auction prices can vary depending on market demand, but top-quality pieces have sold for impressive amounts that surprise many people who assumed every modern quarter was common. Another exciting area of collecting involves mint errors. Although the United States Mint maintains strict quality control, mistakes occasionally escape into circulation. Error coins are highly collectible because each one tells a unique story about the minting process. One possible error is an off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin planchet is not properly aligned between the dies before being struck. Part of the design may be missing, creating a dramatic appearance that collectors love. The greater the off-center strike while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin can become. Another popular error is the double strike. In this situation, the coin is struck more than once, causing overlapping images that are easy to notice. Depending on the severity of the error, these coins can sell for far more than ordinary examples. Collectors also search for clipped planchets. These occur when the metal strip used to create blank coins is improperly punched, leaving part of the coin missing before it is ever struck. Genuine clipped planchet errors are relatively scarce and can command strong premiums. Die cracks and die chips are additional mint errors worth watching for. Over time, minting dies develop stress fractures from repeated use. These cracks appear as raised lines on the finished coin because the damaged die transfers its shape onto the metal. Larger die chips can create unusual raised blobs that attract collectors interested in die varieties. Some collectors spend years searching through rolls of quarters from banks in hopes of discovering one of these unusual errors. Most rolls contain only ordinary coins, but every now and then someone finds an exciting variety that has gone unnoticed for decades. That possibility is one reason coin collecting remains such a fascinating hobby. Luster is another feature that separates average coins from premium examples. A freshly minted coin reflects light in a unique cartwheel pattern that moves across the surface as the coin is tilted. Once a coin enters circulation, this original mint luster gradually disappears due to handling and wear. Collectors often pay extra for coins that retain strong, undisturbed luster because it indicates exceptional preservation. One interesting fact about 1996 is that it marked the year of the Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. Although the Washington quarter itself did not feature an Olympic design, it circulated throughout the United States during this memorable period in American history. Every coin from that year quietly witnessed a unique chapter of everyday life as it passed through countless hands. Many beginners overlook modern coins because they assume older always means more valuable. While age certainly matters, rarity and condition often play a much bigger role. A beautifully preserved 1996 D quarter can be worth considerably more than an older coin in poor condition. This lesson reminds collectors to examine every coin carefully rather than judging it by its age alone. The 1996 D Washington quarter also serves as an excellent starting point for new collectors building complete date and mint collections. Because circulated examples are easy to find, beginners can assemble much of the Washington quarter series without spending large amounts of money. Later, they can upgrade to higher grade examples as their collections grow. Every quarter tells a story beyond its monetary value. It represents American craftsmanship, history, and the technology used to produce hundreds of millions of coins with remarkable consistency. Even though the 1996 D Washington quarter may never become one of the rarest coins in the world, the finest examples and genuine mint errors continue to attract serious attention from collectors. So before you spend your next quarter, take a closer look. Check the date, find a mint mark, inspect the surfaces, and watch for unusual features. That ordinary-looking coin might not make you rich overnight, but it could become a valuable addition to your collection or even reveal an exciting mint error hiding in plain sight. Sometimes the greatest discoveries begin with the smallest details, and that's exactly what makes coin collecting so rewarding. If you enjoyed learning about the 1996 D Washington quarter, don't forget to keep searching your pocket change, because you never know when the next hidden treasure will appear. Every coin has a history, every detail matters. And here on Hardest Penny, the hunt for amazing coins is only just beginning.